Welcome to On the Move, a new exhibition marking a century since the introduction of the Irish passport. The release of the first Irish passports was an important moment of Irish sovereignty, showing a commitment to engage with the world as an independent nation. We know from our work on this exhibition what the passport means to Irish people, both at home and abroad, and to people who've moved to Ireland to build a new life for themselves. Here are some of their stories.
My name's Jan Carson. I am a writer based in East Belfast. I grew up in a very British family and I've always had a UK passport, but in the last few years I've acquired my first Irish passport, so I now have both.
My name is Rebecca Talon de Havilland. I am officially the first post-op transgender woman in Ireland. I'm from Granard, County Longford, but grew up in Dublin.
I was born in Fulham Broadway. I brought up in Fulham. There's a lot of Irish people were in Fulham at that time. My parents were both from Donegal, so we were very close to our Irish heritage.
My name is Zach Maradi, and I'm from Kurdistan of Iran. I was born in a refugee camp in Iraq. We came to Ireland as a political programme refugee in 2002. You're on a waiting list to be relocated to a different country around Europe or anywhere in the world. We were happy to be accepted into Ireland.
I was brought up in a very kind of British identifying town. There would have been a lot of Union Jacks everywhere. My own particular family were from a very kind of Presbyterian community. So my father went on to serve in the Presbyterian Church. I actually worked the Presbyterian Church for a long time. I have one grandfather who was an Orange man. So as a child, we would have gone to the 12th of July parade. Just a real allegiance to kind of British identity, the monarchy and the trappings associated with unionism in the north.
Growing up in Granard, I was born 6th of June 1958. It was idyllic. It was the perfect life, you know, granny in the shop. We stood on orange boxes serving people and was the old cash till and all of that, and making my first Holy Communion because I couldn't wear a communion dress. I managed to get a royal blue velvet jacket and dicky bow and white everything else. So that was my version of my communion dress. But I hated school because inside, from the age of 3, I always felt I was a girl.
We used to go on a summer holiday every summer to Ireland to see Granny, and Granny in her little white cottage in Donegal. We used to love going home. We'd spend 6 weeks there, the whole of the school holidays. The kids in my school would be second generation. Their parents would be Irish too. So we were in touch with a lot of Irish people, both here and by going back to visit my grandmother.
It took time to integrate into Irish society and to learn more about the culture and learn about how the whole system works as well, you know. Everything was really different. I got into hurling in 6th class, and the hurling was just different in Gaelic. And because it was hurling was a difficult game to play, so I kind of liked a bit of a challenge. And I just got more enjoyment out of playing hurling than any other sports. Playing with Leitrim then, so I played for about close to 10 years. So I had great memories going up and down over the years. Sports brings people together all around the world. I've noticed everywhere in the world, whereas any type of sport, it just brings everyone together from different nationalities.
I guess when I came to get my Irish passport, it was in that same kind of wave of panic that happened with a lot of people from Northern Ireland just after the Brexit referendum. I travel widely throughout Europe, mostly for work. It's been one of the joys of being a writer to get to go to other places. You know, very practical level, I didn't want to end up in big long queues or having to get visas or things like that. But it was also kind of a spot in the middle of a journey I was on, thinking about and questioning my own sense of national identity, which didn't mean that it was an easy process. And there was definitely a lot of emotions tied up in it as well.
I needed to travel and I had no passport. I was able to change my name by legal document, but I wasn't able to change my gender. My name was Rebecca Talon de Havilland and it had M on my passport. Just this one year I was going to Greece and I got out okay and coming back. At this stage, I was post-operative at least 10, 12 years, you know. And I was coming back and they stopped me and said, no. It says male, you female. So I was put into airport jail. I was strip searched to make sure everything, that it wasn't all fake. I was kept there for 2 days. I was totally humiliated, really humiliated. Until they got hold of the surgeon that did my surgery, they were not letting me go. And he had to send them proof that I was a transgender woman, that I'd had gender reassignment. And I got back, and I was so angry when I got back to Dublin, so angry. And I went into the passport office. I am a female, and I have male on my passport. I said, are you not ashamed of our country that this happens and that you can do this to a human being? And I said, well, I want my female passport with my F on it. So within 6 weeks I was put back in and I got my female passport.
We're in the Irish Cultural Centre in Hammersmith, London, and it's the UK's premier centre for Irish arts and culture. And people love coming here. It's a really friendly place and people celebrate Irish culture here. You can come here and you can get your Irish passport renewed here. We noticed that after Brexit we were getting hundreds of calls, people wanting to get Irish passports and people asking can they get their Irish passport through the Irish Cultural Centre. And it was mainly second generation people that wanted to have an Irish passport because they wanted to be European, but also they were really proud of their cultural identities.
It took a bit of time, obviously, applying for an Irish citizen because I didn't have a birth cert. It's not an easy process, but when you get it, it's worth it. Because I don't hold any other passport, so I'm an Irish citizen, so that's my passport, you know. So that's the only passport I hold, and so that kind of gives me an identity where I belong, where I have security. When you have a passport, you can travel and see the world, you know, and you learn a lot when people travel. So I'm kind of still learning and traveling and learning about different countries when you go to different places. I never thought I'd be able to do these things, you know, when you're in a refugee camp, and then within 20 years your life can completely change. And that's what everyone wants, a chance.
Whenever my Irish passport did arrive, it lay on the kind of welcome mat under my letterbox for days, and I kind of stepped over it and around it. I knew exactly what was in the envelope. I just didn't want to open it and make it real. For me, it was a drawing of a line. I'm the only person in my family that has an Irish passport. The rest of them would still very strongly identify as British. And so it felt like a step away from kind of the identity that I had been brought up in. I guess when I did open it and held the little burgundy booklet in my hand, there was a few kind of, maybe not out and out tears, but it definitely felt like a big moment for me. And every time I come to an airport check-in desk and look at the two passports, there's still a bit of an emotional attachment to it.
To have my passport means an awful lot, you know, because it wasn't easy got. It's when I see other young trans people now and then get their passports and they can travel and they can do what they like. And it's a document, it's not just a travel document. This little book is everything in our lives. It means everything. It means bank accounts, it means life. It just means it's your legal document. It's a legal document, which legally makes me Rebecca Jolland de Havilland. And that's everything to me.
This is my mother's passport, which she didn't get till she was 70 years of age. She wanted to go away with her friends to Belgium. They were all going off on a trip and she wanted to go with them, and she realised she couldn't go because she didn't have a passport. So at the age of 70, she got her passport. It was quite amazing. And she started going away after that quite a lot to various places.
I got it through the post, though. It was different. So I kind of see the feeling when people get a different passport. Many Irish in America, when they get their American passport, and they're just so happy and they just feel like that's where they're going to belong from now on, you know, that's where they're going to live. Their life is going to kick on then, you know. It's been an amazing journey.